This week, I was planning on putting together a video that addresses the hidden meanings in the film Up, and figuring out if the film's story has anything to do with Pixar as a company. In the process of researching the film and its correlation to Pixar, I realized that Up was actually the last great film they put out. Now, before you waddle over to the comment section and smash the dislike button, I want to make it clear that this is my opinion, not trying to prove anything here, just stating my thoughts. Here's why I believe Pixar got worse after Up. This isn't to say Pixar hasn't come out with some amazing films since. I mean, I thought Inside Out, The Good Dinosaur, and Finding Dory were all incredibly well done. Technically, I don't have any issues with the films. But to me, just because a film is extremely well done doesn't mean it's a great movie. Take the film Whiplash, directed by Damien Chazelle, for example.
Oh my dear God. Are you one of those single-tier people?
You are a worthless pansy ass who is now weeping and slobbering all over my drum set like a 9-year-old girl.
Yes, it's a fantastic movie, it's simple, it's emotional, and the performances and cinematography are unbelievable. I love it, but I'm not attached to it the way I am to, let's say, La La Land, Chazelle's next film. When I watch La La Land, I'm in that world, and I'm feeling things. When I'm watching Whiplash, I'm just watching a really good movie. The last Pixar film to receive almost 100% positive criticism was Inside Out. This is where this video gets incredibly opinionated. I don't feel things when I watch Inside Out for a second time. You see, Pixar over the years mastered the show-don't-tell method of storytelling, to an extent where it was better than certain live-action films.
Look. Stairs.
For those unfamiliar with the show-don't-tell method, it's basically getting emotions and plot points across without using dialogue or saying the exact thing. Films like Monsters, Inc., where Boo had an incredibly limited vocabulary, got us to love her friendship with Sully. Films like WALL-E, where we quite literally had little to no dialogue for the first act and still grew to love WALL-E. And lastly, films like Up, where the opening sequence of Carl and Ellie's life together has no dialogue at all, and is still to me, and probably many others, one of the most heart-wrenching scenes, period. While this is their key ingredient to every film, I don't honestly think that they plan to do so when they make a movie. Pixar just automatically ended up using it so subtly and so well because they made characters out of inanimate objects. Toy Story has toys, Bug's Life has bugs, Monsters Inc. has doors, Finding Nemo has fish, The Incredibles had superhero suits, Cars had cars, Ratatouille had a rat and a chef hat, WALL-E had robots, and Up had a house. Now this is where I find the flaws and weaknesses in the sequels, excluding Toy Story 2. Probably the most obvious being Monsters University. In this film, you have no doors. There's no object that brings all the characters together. Now, I can't technically say the same about Toy Story, but it fails for a similar reason. We've already seen these inanimate objects come to life before, and they've, in a sense, lost that exciting factor to them. We've had enough Toy Story to the point where they're just as normal as any human actor in a live-action film. Same goes for Cars. With keeping in mind the show-don't-tell method and the use of inanimate objects being the backbone of Pixar, let's take a look at Inside Out. The emotions are literally the names of the characters. The whole film is about emotion. There's nothing subtle about what the film is trying to get across here. Not to say that the animation was at all lackluster, but Pixar outbalanced their formula and focused too much on story and feeling, and not enough on the visuals and getting us to feel these things. It's almost to me like Pixar went through a phase where they just tried to make us cry as much as possible after receiving so much success from Up. Pixar isn't about making adults cry and children entertained, it's about making fun, captivating, and unique stories through animation that actually have heart. Now, I'm not sure I have to say much when addressing the lack of inanimate objects in Inside Out. Sure, we have some strange characters that can't really be physically defined as anything, but what are we really supposed to do with that? My next issue with Pixar is pretty obvious. They keep making the same stories. Rather than coming up with more exciting and unforgettable ideas, Pixar continues to push out the same characters with more Toy Stories, another Monsters Inc., another Finding Dory, more Cars, and now another Incredibles. Now don't get me wrong, The Incredibles 2 sounds beyond exciting, but really, a fourth Toy Story and another Cars seem beyond unnecessary at this point. Pixar was amazing and unforgettable because they told stories we've never heard before, stories that are strange and unique but don't come across as goofy and absurd like DreamWorks. The sad part of it all is that Pixar has no plans of stopping. I mean, the next few years are all scheduled with more stories we've already heard, with the exception of Coco, which, to be honest, looks pretty great just like every Pixar film does, but the trailer makes it out to be a Pixar film that's going to make us cry, not a movie we can get excited about on its own. To me, Inside Out and the rest of the post-Up films have felt like Pixar trying to make Pixar films. And again, I like these movies, there's nothing wrong with them, but they just don't latch on to me as well as the earlier ones do, and that's for a good reason. Again, this is just my opinion, and I still think these are great films regardless. Pixar is still going to make great animations, and most importantly, the old films that we already have will still remain timeless. As always, thanks for watching.